shoot. There we go. Hey, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Matt. Welcome to this, I would say the second part of, of our one shot of Flabbergasted. Um, and I'm excited for some spooky times, y'all. Just quick heads up, you'll note that we have a brand new face here today, as well as, unfortunately, one of our players slated for today isn't able to make it, but of course, we will miss him and hope that next time Winston will be able to return stronger than ever. So, well, let's take it away, y'all. Here we go. Let's introduce our players. Joopy, why don't you say a little something about yourself, where people can find you, if there's anything you want to promote, and well, a little bit about Mouse. Take it away.
Hello, my name is Joopy. I use he, they pronouns. Tonight I'm going to be playing the eccentric artist weirdo Mouse, who also uses he, they pronouns. You can find me at bluebugarcade.itch.io, where I write a bunch of RPGs, and that's blue with two U's. So yeah.
Fantastic, and you'll be able to find that link down below in the description box as well. Thank you so much, Joopy. Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel. You can use she, her for me. I play Begonia, the recently widowed and recently rich. You can find me by filling a skull full of acorns and shaking it at the full moon.
Phenomenal. All right. Our new face this evening, Liam.
Hey all, my name's Liam. I use he, him pronouns. You can kind of sort of find me at a geek of one's own, which is a channel I will probably be starting in the next week or two, which is going to be all about promoting females in the geek world, because I think they don't have enough of a voice out there, but there's definitely a lot of creativity. So yep, and I will be playing Louie, also he, him, who's a bohemian performer, socialite, likes to do a whole lot of things.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much, Liam. Now, finally, last but definitely not least, Adah.
Hello, I'm Adah. I am playing Andie, I guess I'd say rambunctious journalist who's still riding the high of her Dogacorn success. I don't use social media, so I guess you could Google me, but don't get too excited.
Fair. Well, fantastic. Now, at this point, we get to do our good old cut over into the world of Flabbergasted, into the land of Peccadillo. And the first thing we're going to zoom in on, well, we're going to go to our good friend Mouse. And Mouse, after, of course, y'all were able to secure 100,000 monies, you were able to do some pretty fun stuff. What has Mouse been up to?
Mouse has been up to a lot of things. He definitely got to open the studio that he's really just needed. He finished his apprenticeship, and so this is what he needed to do, and so he got it done. But he also used some of that money to make a proper bakery for his sister. So
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And they're like together. It's his artistic vision.
Yeah, yeah. And so I picture like maybe after being able to set everything up, setting up that bakery on the side there, Mouse maybe invites, I mean, you invite your parents, you invite your sister, and when they arrive, it is just a look of awe. Um, your parents, most notably, your dad seems just stunned at what you've been able to obtain, and your mom is just like frantic with like, check this out, and just like dragging your father over from place to place, looking at different things that you've set up all over, and then your sister walks up to you and puts a hand on your bicep and says, I knew you could do it, Mouse.
And so at this, I think Mouse is just gonna take his sister in like a just like the biggest hug and be like, "Yeah, don't go crying on me or anything." And at this point, Mouse is just already crying, like he's definitely projecting.
Oh man, so sweet, so sweet. Cool. So from there, we zoom out and shift over to an enormous estate, where we zoom in through the glass, and of course we see our good friends Begonia and Winston, and at this point, they're just finalizing some business plans. When, of course, Winston lets you know, oh, looks like you've got some people coming in.
Fantastic.
I'll
All right,
make sure
in
to
that
get
case, I'll
them.
let you go. I'm sure you've got things you'd much rather be doing than helping me with this right now.
Yes, of course. And Winston notably ends up leaving at this point. I'd say maybe you can see a little bit of a spring in his step as he takes out just a little slip of paper, and it's almost like he's humming a little bit as he's looking at it. But Begonia, who are the people that you're gonna go see and hobnob with? Who, like, as far as where they come from in society?
Probably, I would say about the same social status as she is at now. They're not people that she likes per se, but people that she spends time with because it's what's expected of her.
I dig it. I dig it. Great. Great. And as you're talking, everyone seems focused on one thing in particular. One of the gentlemen's, he chimes in and says, so, the way you handled Edward at that party, masterful. How do you learn to compose yourself under pressure like that?
If you really must know, it comes from my upbringing. I'm sure you all know the scandal was all over the papers when it happened, but before Richard and I were married, I served in his home as a maid. And, well, when one is a working individual, one must learn how to interact with people in a certain way.
Great. And as we zoom out, like, every person here is listening with rapt attention. They're captivated by Begonia's story because, of course, this group and most of the people that have become so intrigued, they have been circulating essentially the same stories over and over and over again, same backgrounds, in which case it's become very dull. And now Begonia coming in with this fresh, new, exciting take
Oh, the wealthy love to hear about what it's like to be poor.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But then we slide on over and zoom in on good old Winston. And we see Winston at the pub early in the morning. And he is directing construction crews who are renovating. They're making the place a lot nicer. Though, of course, it was always well maintained. His brother always saw to that. But with the money he's got, they're pretty much in the clear as far as maintaining the family pub is concerned. And when his brother comes down and sees this surprise, you see tears welling up in his eyes, and he goes down and hugs his brother. But then we get a little bit of a time skip. Now to right after Winston leaves Begonia to hobnob with high society. And Winston has his nicest suit on, his most dapper top hat, and he is, of course, traveling to 514 Evergreen Street to see the petrol lady. Now, we zoom out from there to where we see Andie Cartwright in the office. And at this point, though the setting is different, the situation is very similar in that we see Andie surrounded by her coworkers, and every one of them are congratulating her on getting the scoop, on being able to secure such a gossiped about story about Edward and his collusion with the Chupacabros. And it's like when you see that headline in the newspaper, you see it's like rich snob colluding, and then there's like a smaller headline underneath that says with Sasquatch. And so amidst all of this, everyone is listening to Andie when from the office you hear that familiar angry voice yell, "Cartwright!"
I'm afraid I must go, my fans. I'll see you soon.
And you just hear like people saying, "Aww, next time."
Gotta leave him wanting more.
Absolutely. And so, Andie, as you enter G. Gona Glenlivet's office, he's standing, he's pacing a little bit, and he says, "Cartwright, did I congratulate you yet on breaking that news?"
I'm not sure. I've just been getting so many congratulations lately. It's hard to keep track, but...
Well, congratulations. Anyway,
thank you so much.
We need to move on. There's something I need you to look into. You're the pro. I'll defer to you.
Give it to me.
So, there's a carnival coming to town.
Okay.
And I need you to look into it.
Andie looks at her list of potential new cryptids and just trying to figure out how she can work them into this story.
Well,
you got it, Glenn.
That's perfect. I heard, that there's they've got a new act, and that new act might be right up your alley.
Oh.
Yeah. They say they've got a real-life Sasquatch there.
Oh.
And since you've dealt with at least 2 before, I think you're the right woman for the job.
I will get my team on it, and we will be on our way soon.
Good. your name at the front ticket taker office. That'll be enough to get you and your team in.
Perfect. Thank you,
Great.
Glenn, for this opportunity.
You're welcome. Not enough people thank me. Good luck.
I don't need it.
Great. So I'd say the camera at this point, there's another time skip following Andie. Andie bringing this news back to the club to Begonia and Mouse when we have a newcomer at the door. Someone who is stepping foot within our October society for the very first time. Well, I'd say as our new character raps on the door, maybe just a little memory. What just happened earlier, maybe a day or two ago. So, Liam, as far as the where, what are you picturing this place? Like, what are the surroundings like? This club, not the October Society club, but this nightclub.
Yes, I think this club is kind of a bit of a back alley, you know, one of those you need to like take a left, take a right, go down those stairs, go under that little bridge, knock on the door 3 times, and then it opens up. And when it's inside, it's a really cozy kind of place with a lot of different colored lights, definitely music happening, some drinks being poured, everybody having a good time, but definitely a lot of colors, both in what people wear and the lighting of the place and the art on the wall.
Fantastic. So, at this point, beautiful surroundings amidst kind of a divey location. But
Divey but pretty.
yes, exactly. They've known what to do with their space. But of course, here there is there are quite a lot of people who've heard of Louie. And one person in particular comes up, 2 drinks in hand, and he says, "So, what brings you down here?" And he sets one of the drinks down in front of you.
Oh, well, hello. I do not usually accept drinks like this from random strangers. What is your name?
Oh, well, my name is Nathaniel.
Nathaniel, it is a pleasure to meet you. I am here to perform. I will be performing later on tonight.
Oh, great.
Maybe a bit of a song, maybe a bit of a dance.
Excellent. That sounds delightful.
Oh, delicious.
Well, and it's like as you're talking, he's laughing at just the right moments. He's finding just the right times to just move in a little bit closer, making strong eye contact, and you find yourself maybe a little captivated by his piercing green eyes. And as he's moving forward, he goes in to whisper in your ear when all of a sudden you see someone out of your peripheral who was moving towards you, and then suddenly you hear the crash of glass as this person in shock drops it, and everyone around you, they gasp. They're like, "What? What's going on?" And then you hear the familiar voice of Jacques, who says, I thought you were coming over tonight. It was our date night.
Oh, Zach, I am very sorry. I was given this last minute gig. I will come straight afterwards. I am so very sorry.
Don't bother. And he turns and storms away. And Nathaniel says, was that your boyfriend?
Well, yes, I mean, one of them, but this one, I must admit, is quite special to my heart. I take a sip. I'm afraid I must get ready for the show. The show must go on, as they say. And I
Great.
just sheepishly walk away.
And we zoom out from this heartbreaking scene and back in to Louie at the front door. And, well, in this case, Mouse, Begonia, Andie, who would be opening said front door?
Did they have rock, paper, scissors in the 1920s?
I'd like to think so.
Probably.
I think all of those things existed.
Even if they didn't, I'm sure they had a system. Begonia's not getting up.
Okay, Mouse. Mouse, you're muted.
I was gonna say, thank you for telling me. I was gonna say, I feel like Mouse will be busy as well, just looking around and being like, we could put that over there. We could do this over here.
Okay, I'll get it. I will answer the door.
Perfect. And, well, I mean, Liam, would you care to describe what Louie looks like in this moment to Andie?
Sure thing. Louie's probably got a nice, a bit like the bar I described. He's maybe a little bit divey, but he's very colorful. He's probably got a maroon type jacket with a black vest and a nice little bright colorful scarf around his neck with a lot of different colors on it. He's got a little bit of lipstick across his lip, a little bit of eyeliner. His hair is kind of slicked to one side, and he just looks up with the biggest smile he can muster. And he's like, "Oh, well, hello."
Guys, we got a hot mess over here.
Well,
I like gesture for you to come in.
Mouse
for sure.
runs over and is like, hello? Someone said a mess.
Well,
Begonia looks up from
mostly
her
hot,
drink
mostly
and
hot.
then just
but-
looks back at her book.
And Mouse is like, heart? Looks up and down. He's like, well, I can't help you with that. But then Mouse is like kind of at a loss.
It's okay. I get this kind of reaction all the time.
So what's bringing Louie to the October Society, a society that specializes in matters related to the occult?
I think Louie will kind of he hasn't been invited in just yet, but he's no vampire, so he's gonna step in.
Okay. Yep. Hi.
Just takes it one step in and is like, "Hello, yes, I hear that you deal with all sorts of things, things that are different, things that are weird, but also maybe I thought that you might know a thing or two about maybe potions or
Andie
how
is
to
taking a
talk
picture
to
of her Dogacorn
ghosts.
out of her pocket and signing it and handing it over as you're saying this. Oh,
Thank you. I think.
potions, you say?
Yes, love potions, fear potions, entertainment potions, anything practicals, maybe something to make me look a little bit more better.
I look to Mouse because this is probably more their thing.
Yes. At this point, Mouse is like doing the thing where people have their hands up like this and sizing, and he goes, "I'll be right back." Runs off and like comes back with like just his sewing kit and is taking out measurements and doing everything
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
He goes, "What's doesn't matter," and then runs off. And I want to attempt to try to make. Let me think. I want to attempt to try to make like a really nice what is it called? Like, you know, one of those long coats.
Oh,
Like a
snap.
train.
Yeah. I don't know if I have to roll for that, but that is what I want to do.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say here. As far as Mouse's ability, it's easy work. But we do have a slight problem. And I'd say maybe Begonia is the one who brings this up. Because you recognize, and of course you've had a lot of meetings lately, that punctuality is important. And Begonia, after having heard the news from Andie, you know that the carnival, it begins in about half an hour.
Right.
So
So
what
for
do you
Mouse.
need regarding this carnival?
For Mouse, the process of making said long coat, I don't know if you'd be able to make it well in less than half an hour.
Oh no.
But you can get started.
Okay, I want to get started. I want to get, yeah.
Just throw fabric at him.
Yes.
Oh, this color. I don't know about this color. Maybe a different color.
I understand. So what color would you like?
I'm thinking maybe a bit of yellow on this side, a bigger bit of red on this side, maybe. I love the idea of a green patch in the back, maybe something like that.
Okay. I like your eye for color. And then I, instead of trying to make it in 30 minutes, I think Mouse will now start over. And this is what he'll be sketching throughout this session.
Great.
Plans for a nice jacket.
Excellent. So,
He'll keep doing this until you stop him, sir. Just
Oh, but
bear with him.
I am not bothered. Please carry on. It's promising to be a very, very fine garment.
Yeah, Mouse just like shakes his head and is like, drawing.
So I think this is the
Colored
point where
pencils
Begonia sort of looks up from whatever she's reading and takes her drink over to the three of them. I'm sorry, who are you?
I take the cup from Begonia and hand it to Louie. Is this what you were looking for?
I mean, I am looking to expand my horizons and my social circles, and I must admit I did hear a little bit about what you have been doing, and I kind of point at you and I'm like, oh, especially you, famous journalist, very, very interesting story. I didn't read it, but I heard your name a lot.
I'll take it.
So you're looking to join the club?
Well, yes.
Miles goes, of course he has to join. I'm not finished with his jacket yet.
Yes, what he said.
I see.
You can join as long as you're down to go to the carnival with us in like probably 2 minutes.
We do have
Louie's
to
eyes.
Mouse. You will have to finish that later, I'm afraid.
I think Louis' eyes just widened at the mention of carnival, and he's just like, "Oh yes, the carnival. Yes, I hear they are in town. I've been meaning to go myself. Definitely happy to go with you."
All right. Should we try to pry Mouse away?
I think Mouse is gonna go like, oh, okay, let's go. I just have to grab a few things. It was like overpacking a bag full of art supplies.
Mouse, it's a day trip. Mouse, we're gonna be back tonight, bud.
Fine. He takes out one pencil, puts it down. It's like I'm ready to go.
Great.
I guess we'll go.
No, I'm
Oh
sorry.
no! Winston was our driver!
I am the one with the car.
Of course, yes. Yes, we're fine then. Everything is fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, before we leave, I didn't get your name.
Me, I said it now 3 times. My name is Louie.
Ah,
Louis
Bonjour.
Bradford.
All right. And she's just very much looking at him, not quite trustingly yet.
Fair.
Well then, Louis, allons-y.
Yes, we shall. Thank you. She speaks the language. Yes.
Great. So, y'all pack into Begonia's car and head off to the carnival. So, as y'all are approaching, you can already see bright lights, enormous multicolored tents. You see maybe just a glimpse of someone spinning batons with flames on the sides. Another person who's like brightly lit with enormous spotlights, who has a sword that they are currently holding up and drawing into their mouth. As you're approaching, the music from the carnival starts entering your ears, and it's got an interesting little twist to it. In that y'all, I assume that all your characters have been to, or at least been around, carnivals before. In which case, you know this usual sort of music that would be playing. But it seems as though tonight the music has an odd affectation to it, where it starts off like the usual, like, and then it gets a little bit distorted of like,
They need to fire this band.
Yeah. But as y'all pull in, what is your first course of action?
Admire all the things.
It depends on how Begonia did driving, because I think we established last time that she did not know how to drive, and Winston was backseat driving the whole time.
She's learning. she's learning, but she's a bit of a monster on the road.
Okay. In this case, without Winston, I mean, is Begonia being just a little crazier, or is she taking the other side of like trying to show that she can drive without Winston's backseat driving?
Yeah, she's a little like white knuckling the wheel a bit.
Great.
Just doing her best.
Excellent. In that case, would you mind rolling a little culture and etiquette for me?
Yes. I'm realizing I don't have my character sheet up.
You're good. You're good.
Rookie mistake.
I know, I'm just so disorganized.
At this point, I'm doing sort of like a sliding scale of like, the more successes you have, the better the ride was.
Okay. Well, I only got 2 of those, so. And one of them is a 2, so.
Oh, snap.
A good time, no successes.
Okay. So in this case, if you're white knuckling it and it's just nerves taking over, I'm picturing maybe Begonia as you're driving. It's like it's sort of like that classic situation where maybe you don't have that guiding hand from behind anymore, and now you're when you start off, you move a little bit and then you immediately hit the brakes. You move a little bit, you immediately hit the brakes. But eventually you do find your stride. It's not the smoothest ride, but you are able to get there successfully. But it is a ride that makes everyone a little uneasy, especially Louie, who this is the first time he's experienced Begonia's driving.
That is quite fair.
Mouse's like car sketches are just all jacked up. Like they're all messed up.
Now, I'll say this. Since you didn't have one success, then you all do notice that a familiar-looking vehicle passes y'all on the way. And as they do, they actually slow down for a second to match your speed. And of course, you see one guy poke his head out the window, a little bow tie with polka dots on it, and he does a quick little wave, and then he looks back, and you can kind of see him mouthing like, "Hey, let's lose him!" And then he waves, and then that's when, of course, the chupacabras race off, cut you off, and then continue forward, leaving you in a big cloud of dust.
Begonia says to it through clenched teeth, "Bugger off, piss boys!"
Dumb Sasquatches don't know how to drive.
Great.
Louie, we don't like them. It's a long story.
Yes.
I like to think that Mouse can go back and sketch and like show like this is what they look like. Show like the angry sketches that were made before.
Ooh, yes. Not very colorful. Not very happy.
Great. So that's how the ride was.
Infuriating.
But y'all arrive at the carnival, at least safe. So, what do you do first?
I think after we collect our bearings, we go to the ticket counter. Right?
Great.
That's what people do.
Indeed.
Excellent.
I like to think that like Mouse, because he grew up like in the farm and like out in the country, that he kind of like has a hang on like what it's like to go to a festival. So I like to think that he is kind of like ushering everyone and kind of like this is like the first time we've seen him like really put down his art supplies and be like, guys, we need to go here, here, here. It's like naming like possible attractions and food booths. It's like, first we need to go over here. starts walking towards where he thinks the ticket booth is.
Fantastic. Well, as y'all are proceeding forward, y'all note first thing is that the carnival is called it's Ogilvy's Attractions, and from the outside you can see that there's murals of clowns, of performers, and all of them have just a little bit of a darker tint to them. They've added some a little bit extra on top. Like Mouse, you would identify immediately that what they've done is they painted over to give it a little bit more sinister feel. As this is the spookier season, they've changed it to like this haunted variation. And as y'all are approaching the ticket counter, that is when first off, there is a person with black and white makeup. A smile has been painted upon his face, and you see him pull something out, but then you can immediately see he has nothing in his hands, and he does a quick lassoing motion, and he tries to lasso Begonia. What do you do?
Oh my
Begonia's not
goodness.
quite sure how to react to this. She hasn't been to a carnival since she was very young. And so just very goes along with it. It tries to go along with it, but very stiffly.
Great. He's gonna try to do the pull you in thing.
Her movements aren't exactly matching his, but she's got the spirit of the thing.
Great. And like as he realizes this, you see his smile widen, because of course he has his painted on smile, but like a genuine smile appears underneath. All of you can see that his makeup is very thick, but in spite of that, you can see very thick wrinkles on his brow. Based on his posture, he does look a little bit older, though still quite limber and enthusiastic. As Begonia is willing to play along, he smiles, and once he pulls you in close enough, he gives you just like a quick 1 second, and then he tries to get another lasso out and attempts to lasso Liam, or lasso Louie, sorry.
I think Louie will be right into this, and he'll try to do like a bit of a dodge, and then eventually overact the whole "you got me," and then as he pulls me in, I really match his movements, and I'm really playing into it.
Fantastic. And as Louie is playing into it, as Begonia is, at this point, while he's pulling in Louie, he's trying to give a signal for you to pull back. So it's almost like he's being pulled by two bulls in opposite directions. But y'all are drawing quite a crowd. There are quite a few children around who are laughing and clapping happily at the two of you being willing to play with this old mime. Now, I'm going to switch over to Mouse and Andie real quick, because Mouse, going through the potential attractions as Andie is securing your entry, Mouse, you can see that there are a number of things. There is a chili dog eating contest with special guest host and singer Tom Leopard. There is a trapeze act. There is there are 4 clowns that are prominently featured through all of their brochures. There are flame dancers. There is there are a pair of fortune tellers, Madame Eleanor and also Zolran the Incredible. There is a strength test game. And as this is all going on, as Andie is securing entry, Mouse, well, I'd say in this case both of you are so preoccupied with, in one case, looking up attractions, the other case, trying to maybe spell your name out for the Ticketmaster there.
C-A-R-T.
Perfect.
Not D.
While that's going on, Begonia and Louie notice that there are 2 figures who are sneaking up behind Mouse and Andie.
Begonia is going to just... Oi! Sees it, breaks the character immediately, and just shouts that to try and get their attention.
Great. And with that, and of course you're looking in their direction, the crowd is all murmuring and they look over too. And when you yell it out, the 2 figures immediately jump up, and one of them turns, and you see, of course, in his suit and bow tie with stripes, you see one of the chupacabras. And at that point, Andie and Mouse, the 2 of you see, of course. It looks like the 2 chupacabras were trying to sneak up upon the 2 of you to scare you. And one of them says, and I believe this one is Billy, he says, "I've got a challenge for you, see?"
And what might that be?
I've heard that there's a Sasquatch in there. Whoever gets...
Really? It looks like there's 2 we've got right here.
Well, takes one to know one. Anyway, if we get a better picture, than you, then you have to publish that we're not Sasquatches, Andie.
No.
Please.
I don't even know. Mouse,
What?
make them pee again. And I walk off.
Mouse just rolls up his sleeves. He's like, "Well, we heard her."
Wait a
Try to
second.
intimidate them again.
Are you too chicken to accept the challenge?
Andie's
No,
gone.
it's just-
To draw myself up to my full height, which, Begonia is a pretty tall lady. March right over to them and say, "We don't require your approval. I could buy you."
But all these people, they're all seeing it. If you guys are chicken, then so be it.
Mouse just kind of crosses his arms and he's like, "I'm not chicken, I'm Mouse." And guy just like puts his finger in their chest.
I think
Andie wanders back over and does the Y-O-U.
Yes.
Go ahead,
I
Louie.
think Louis is gonna approach, go to stand next to Begonia, but he's still acting like he's somewhat restrained, so he's making extra efforts and making sure he's still entertaining to everyone. And he gets up to the chupacabra and he's like, chicken, you say? Yes, chicken. Well, you should be careful who you challenge. Chicken is what these guys might turn you into. And I kind of go and dig in my pocket, and I pull out one of those flippy like foundation makeup thing with a mirror on it. I kind of open it up. I dab myself up a little bit, and I'm like, we only accept challenges from the highest of people. You guys are not worth it. And I blow the dust into the powder dust into the guy's face. And then I dab him in something that you do not look even remotely good enough to be speaking to me and my new friends. Please be gone. And I close it. And then I look back at the mime and I'm like, reel me in.
Begonia is looking at you very impressed.
Welcome to the club, Louie.
I had to prove myself.
Nice.
I feel like because...
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like because Mouse has such low wits, I feel like he would take the bait, the obvious bait. And he would go to them and be like, it's like, listen, whatever you think you can do, we will always do better. And he's like, come on, guys. Just like aggressively starts walking in just any direction because he is fuming.
Excellent.
Oh, Mouse.
Excellent. So, with a challenge on the table, y'all enter the carnival. Now, of course, you have quite a few options as to where you want to go in the meantime. But I will tell you this, Andie, and this is information that you will have been given from Gona Glenlivet. And it was simply that the performers here are quite wary of people who are trying to take pictures because they're kind of afraid of their act being recorded, being released to the public. In which case, for all of you, it might behoove you to get in good with some of the people here in order to secure such a photo. Otherwise, they may kick you out.
Begonia pulls out her wallet.
So, at the moment, I'll give you again the potential places y'all can go. You can split up however you want, or you can stay together. It's up to you. Again, you don't have to worry about splitting the party as much because I'm not going to be swarming you with real zombies, at least. So,
Not yet.
yes, we have a chili dog eating contest hosted by Tom Leopard. We have the trapeze act on the main stage. We have, well, I'd say in the brochure, it almost says it in such a way of like making it a game, like Find Waldo, but they want you to find the clowns. Abby, Lou, Chap, and Tatiana. There are the flame dancers on a side stage, as well as the sword swallower. There are the fortune tellers. There's specifically one tent for both fortune tellers. And there's the test your strength game. You note that it looks like the big act, the finale. It's later on in the evening, at which point you'd probably each be able to hit up 2 things before we get to that point.
Okay. Is the clown out front one of these clowns?
No.
Okay.
This one seems a little bit older, but he doesn't have any sort of like he's very I'd say almost like a purist as far as mimes are concerned. He's got the black, the white. He doesn't have anything spooky on him aside from just, being a mime.
Mimes are nice though.
Yeah, this one's pretty nice.
I mean, if we check out the fortune tellers, they can just tell us that we win and how we win, and then we can just follow their plan. They can do the work for us.
I don't think that.
Yeah, I think Mouse is
that
in that
simple. However, that being said, I would like to give them a visit.
Yeah, I'm also curious about the fortune tellers. I'm also curious about these clowns. Just because, I don't know. It just seems... What were their names again? I tried to write it all down, and I failed.
Oh, there's Abby, there's Lou, there's Chap, and there's Tatiana.
Okay, so I think... Do we all want to do the fortune teller?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we can... I want to try and find some of these clowns.
Great. So...
We don't all
Starting
have to do that, though. Sorry, I
Starting
keep
off.
interrupting.
Oh, no. You're good. My apologies. But it sounds like everyone's going for fortunes. Great. So, as you head towards that tent, you'll note that it is off to the left side of the carnival. And as you're heading in that direction, you smell a lot of beautiful smells. Fried breads that have just been lifted out of the oil. Nice, fresh hot dogs. There are some that, there are some booths that you can see. It says, chili dog eating contest, chili dogs. If you want the taste without the regret. There are quite a few places that serve beverages, alcoholic or not. But on the way, well, in this case, let's see. Okay. As y'all are going up, I'd say as far as like the way y'all move, are you guys going full like Wizard of Oz, 4 people, or is there some sort of formation y'all are taking?
I feel like we're probably in like a clump.
Mm-hmm.
Like 2 and 2.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I feel like the I was gonna say the country boyness and like Mouse is coming out and he's like in his element and just taking everything in and is like just loving all of it. It's on cloud 9.
Nice.
I'm
Begonia
probably
is
also towards the
very
front.
excited to.
We're all pushing toward the front. We're all just fighting over each other to be first.
Sorry, what was that, Begonia?
Begonia is very excited to be there. She hasn't been to one of these in a very long time, and is just sort of like feeling a little bit like a kid again.
Awesome. I mean, based on the excitement level so far, it sounds like we have 3 who are running forward. What about Louie?
Yes, I reckon Louie's also quite excited, but easily distracted.
Mm-hmm.
So as he's walking by, like the smell kind of pulls him in, and then he looks at the other 3 heading up, and it's like, gotta catch up. And then he sees something else, and he gets distracted again, and he sees that he's falling behind. So it's like 3 fighting over each other, and then Louie just kind of constantly doing stop, oh, run, stop, oh, run.
We needed a leash.
Yeah,
Get that mime back here.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, in that case, Louie is the one who, like, as you're being pulled away and running back, pulled away, running back, this time as you go to run back, you run into someone. Like, physically, like, you bowl them over. It felt like walking up to an empty bookcase and accidentally leaning on it. And then you see falling down and rolling a few times, you see a clown with a black suit on. The suit jacket is just a little too small and tight, so you can see white shirt up above and below where the buttons are clasped. His dark slacks are a little too baggy. He's got a top hat, which now has flown 20 feet away for some reason, as well as a cane, which he is using to try to stand back up. There's a mustache on his face with a red clown nose and rosy red cheeks. There's blue around both of his eyes. And you also note that beneath his enormous red clown shoes are skates, little wheels. And he is on the ground trying desperately to get back up, but you can tell that he's making a show of it, with the children laughing around. And he says, Where's my hat? Where did my hat go?
I kind of get up and I look at him. I'm like, oh, I am terribly sorry, monsieur. Your hat, yes, I believe. Oh, there it is. I quickly go pick up the hat. And I'm like, and here is your hat, monsieur. Monsieur, and I kind of lean in, like, as if asking his name.
It's Chap. Chap. Nice to meet you.
Yes, Monsieur Chap. There you are. I would have picked you for a Lou, but then again, I am a Lou, so I suppose you must be a chap. There you go, good chap.
Thank you very much. And you note that, like, as he goes to grab onto the hat, he does so in very clownish fashion. As he grabs the hat, you do note that he grabs not just the hat, but like kind of sneakily grabs onto your hands as like a balance thing, because then he flails his legs backwards, with the skates kind of helping one propel up and the other one propel. So he's like desperately trying to regain his balance. And then he grabs onto you and says, Thank you. You're very kind. You and your... And then when he looks over, you do note his face changes a little bit. There's like a dark shadow. He says, Is that Andie Cartwright?
Is that who? Yes, it is. Why? Is everything okay?
And you note that he frowns before he skates off into a group of children to make them laugh.
Goodbye, Monsieur Chap. And I kind of rush back over, and I'm just like, I found Monsieur Chap. Nice hat, nice fellow, but not a big fan of yours. I'm afraid.
Do I know? I don't think I know anyone named Chap. I don't know why this clown doesn't like me.
Well, maybe you wrote a story about him sometime, or someone.
Maybe he's just clowning around.
Yeah.
Mouse is like nudge.
You'd have to be a clown not to like my stories, obviously.
Well, I would be careful about how loud you say this at a carnival. Lots of clowns around. They might think it offensive, maybe.
Okay. Andie is like, she's not superstitious, but she's confused.
So, after that little altercation, y'all arrive at the medium's tent. And you do note that there are two entryways. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I said it's not big nor small, it's quite medium.
Yes! Perfect. You do note that there are two entryways. There's no label for which entryway leads to which. Of course, looking around the tent, you would see people that seem to be exiting from the back side, at which point you can ascertain that very clearly both of these are entrances. So, how do y'all want to do this?
I'll go left.
I will as well.
Was that Andie and Begonia left?
Yep.
I'll go right. To break the...
Then I suppose I will also follow to the right.
Okay, great, great. So, as y'all enter, I'm going to start with Andie and Begonia first. But, as the two of you enter, you see that this area is very foggy. And you see that there's just little, very small, almost like birthday-sized candles lighting the way on the path. They're very clearly showing you a runway, but as you're moving forward, you do hear a sound of someone giggling, like a
Should we follow it? What was that, Begonia?
It's disconcerting.
Yeah. Should we follow it or should we keep going?
I would say just keep with the candles.
Okay. I'm not scared. I just wanted to see what you thought.
All right.
Great. So, as you're continuing forward, you hear that sound again, but this time it feels like, for Begonia, it feels like where Andie's standing, and for Andie, it feels like it's coming from where Begonia's standing. It's just like, oh.
What was that? Did you say something?
No, I thought you did.
No. Nope. Maybe you should go first.
And each of you feel just like a light caress of your hair.
Oh my god, stop it.
Did you just touch me?
No, I thought you touched me.
Why would I
What
do
is
that?
this? The will they won't they of it all.
Let's just keep going.
Now, as you approach, the lights eventually lead you around a curve, and then you see, amidst the mists, you see one larger candle at the center of a table. And suddenly, this room is illuminated as you see candles all around the outside of this room suddenly alight. And you hear a voice say, "Welcome!"
Are you the fortune teller?
Yes, I am Zolran, the Incredible!
Hello, Mr. Incredible. My name is Andie. This is my friend Begonia.
Charmed,
Hello.
I'm sure.
Please have a seat. So,
Okay.
and like you could hear that voice echoing through this room, but then suddenly it diminishes to the point of just being a whisper, and then you see his face appear. And he has a very long, thin mustache that extends out, as well as a little beard that pokes out as well. And he is wearing very resplendent red robes, and he puts his hands on the table and he says, "So, what would you like to know?"
Andie, you should go first. I have a more private matter that I would like to speak with him afterwards.
Okay. Mr. the Incredible.
Yes, the journalist.
Yes. Glad to meet a fan. I was just wondering.
I'm no fan.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. You have poor taste. I was just wondering, how long am I going to be able to support myself off of my dogacorn? Because I'm creating a list of different cryptids I'm going to begin searching for, but I don't want to get ahead of myself, or I don't want to be underprepared.
Is that why you're here? To take another picture and expose another life?
I wasn't planning on taking any pictures in here. I'm just curious.
I see.
I shrink back a little bit and kind of hide behind Begonia as much as I can without getting up.
Great. Okay. Now we're gonna slide on over to Mouse and Louie as the two of you enter the other path. This path is fairly dim as well. Though, interestingly enough, it looks like the walls, though you are inside a tent, the walls themselves look as though you've stepped into a house, into a hallway. Red walls, it looks like wood, oak, painted red. And as you're stepping forward, eventually you can feel, it looks like the floor is wood as well. As you're stepping, the two of you can hear your footsteps. It's almost like the sound of stepping onto a ship. And here, every now and then, you see a lantern lighting quite well within about a 4 or 5 foot radius. But as you exit lantern to lantern, you seem to see the shadows of something moving in the corner of your eye, off in the distance.
Hello. Hello. If you would like to buy me a drink, you will have to come out of the shadows. Hello.
And you hear a response, "Why can't we drink in the shadows?"
Ooh. Interesting. I kind of look over at Mouse. Like, would you like to go for a drink with the spooky voice in the shadows?
So Mouse is gonna go, do you mean us any kind of harm? Disembodied voice, looking around, talking to the nothing.
Maybe. I guess we'll see.
I think in this case that we should come up with a safe word of sort. Maybe pineapple or ananas, as we say back home.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a great plan. And then Mouse looks around and is like, gonna start whispering, like, that sounds like a great plan.
And then you hear that voice from the shadows coming from behind you now. And it says, "Good. I'll meet you there."
There? Where is there? I am not aware of where there is.
Oh, just continue forward.
Okay. Forward it is. I say as I look over to Mouse, a bit concerned.
Mouse is just gonna walk very slowly, almost like tiptoeing. Like
Just
Scooby-Doo.
remember, ananas is the safe word.
And as the two of you approach the next lantern, you see, of course, your reflection, and of course, with the curvature of the globe around it, it distorts your features a little bit. And just in one instant, it's as though you see 3 reflections. You see Louie, Mouse, as well as a third, one with long black hair covering her face.
Hmm. And did you say that these were mirrors, or that?
Oh, it's
Like,
just
what
the
do we-
reflection off the globe that covers the lantern light.
Oh. Oh my gosh. I think Mouse is going to attempt to pick it up to get a closer look. That's probably the worst idea.
And then you hear the voice suddenly say, "Hey, wait, don't touch the props, please. Please."
Oh, sorry. Stops entirely and steps back. It's like, oh, my bad.
Thank you. Well, go get your fortune told then.
Oh, okay. Being gullible, he just does whatever the voice says. It's like, this is fine now.
Great. So Mouse and Louie, as you approach, as your path curves, you eventually reach a room that's fairly well lit. There are 2 lanterns, one on either side, as well as a fireplace at the far end, and a table, a circular table with a red velvet cloth on top. And as you're approaching, a woman immediately steps out from behind a velvet curtain, and she says, "All right, what'll it be?"
Hello. Hi.
Yeah.
I am. Well, you already know my name because you know the fortunes.
Yeah.
This is Mouse.
Nice to
Hello.
meet you.
Sorry for almost touching the props.
You almost touched the prop?
I mean, what? No.
No,
Anyway, so
he definitely did not do that.
why would I do that? That's ridiculous.
So
But you know who I did almost see do that? And I would like to try to throw the chupacabras under the bus.
I knew they were trouble the moment they walked in.
Yes.
But what about you?
Actually, they challenged us to do something that we are not very inclined to do, but we also have a reputation that we need to uphold. They want us to take a picture of a and I gotta look at Mouse. A picture of what again?
He's like, Mouse goes, the Sasquatch.
Yes.
Sasquatch.
The Sasquatch, they want us to take a photo of the Sasquatch. We do not desire to take a photo of the Sasquatch, but we do not desire to lose to these miscreants.
Really?
Excuse me.
Yes, so could you maybe, do you happen to know, well, maybe you can tell our fortunes and tell us where we can find the Sasquatch?
So you don't want to take his picture?
Well,
no,
I mean,
we'll get a drawing. We'll get a drawing, and Mouse is gonna be like don't talk about taking pictures. And I wanted to show the old drawings of the chupacabras as Sasquatches.
Ah, okay. That actually... Interesting. Well, if that's the case, then... maybe... And we flip back over to Andie and Begonia with Zolran the Incredible. And he says, "So, you want to know how long you can support yourself, exposing the secret lives of others?"
That's not exactly what I asked, but if that's the way you want to interpret it, I respect that.
Well, I'll tell you that if you try that crap here, then you won't live for very much longer.
Okay, first of all, sir, Mr. the Incredible, it is not crap.
Zolran the Incredible.
Mr. Zolran the Incredible. It's not crap. It is my life's work. I worked very hard on it. And I did expose a fraud. So I'm not a bad person.
What I think my compatriot means.
Yes,
is
please
that
dig me out of this hole.
We belong to a group which is searching for real cryptids that are the ones that do exist, I'm sure you know they do. As long as everything is as what you say that you have here is real, then there's nothing that you have to fear from any of us, really.
But that is where our views on this differ. If you reveal our prized Sasquatch to the world, then who knows what'll happen to him.
Actually, I was told by my boss to take a picture of it. It wasn't my idea. And in fact, there was a pair that came through asking us to take a photo, challenging us to take a photo even. They call themselves the Chupacabros.
I've heard of these two.
They were the ones I exposed, actually, in my story. You should really check it out if you haven't. But yeah, they're trouble.
So you two aren't planning on revealing our secrets?
I am paid to report the truth. Andie does not report the truth. That's not Andie saying that. That's me saying that. So far, all of my stories have been honest and harmless. So,
You do,
and they will remain that way.
Your carnival is in possession of a Sasquatch, is it not?
Yes.
Then all we will report, all Andie really will report, I'm not a reporter at all, all Andie will report is that, yes, indeed, there is a Sasquatch. If anything, it will be free advertisement for you and for your carnival, bringing more people in through the doors and more people to see you.
Okay.
Exactly like I just said. Thank you, Begonia.
If anything, you should be wanting to pay her for her services. However, that's not what we're asking for.
Okay. Are you able to report this without snapping a photo of it?
I do have a companion who's a very talented sketch artist, so it is possible.
Now we flip back over to Louie and Mouse with their fortune teller. And she says, so you've told me about these two troublemakers. I appreciate that. But you understand that we've got a living to uphold here. And we can't go giving away the goods for free.
Oh, yes, I understand as an artist myself. I understand where you're coming from.
You're an artist?
Yes. Yes,
Oh yes.
In
You
fact,
should
I
see
just
the
opened...
jacket that she's putting together for me.
Yes.
Ah. Okay. Well, if you're just doing a sketch, then we might be able to work something out here.
More than doing a sketch, what we really want is to keep our reputation intact and most definitely bring that of the Chupacabras down. We actually really want to just stop them. So if you help us, maybe together we can stop the Chupacabras. Chupacabras.
Well,
Yes.
I might need you to prove yourself first.
You have us. You have the October Society at your service. Big Mouse is going to bow theatrically.
Good.
Could I actually, maybe I'm using this a bit early, but whatever.
Go for it.
I think I want to use one of my cues,
Okay.
and I've got Kindred Spirits. You quickly form a deep connection with any like-minded artists and performers. You know that if you are ever in need, your fellow artists will come to your aid without a second thought. So I'm thinking here, I'm actually offering them our aid. And so in turns, there's a bit of a, maybe we can skip the formalities and just be like, we are here for you, brethren.
Great. Okay. So what she's gonna say is, well, at the end of the day, it's the ringmaster's call. But I gotta say, you gotta be a little careful, because I don't think the ringmaster likes Sasquatch.
Well, it
But
seems that the priority is to keep Sasquatch safe, no?
Yeah. The ringmaster seems to be the one who's in charge of taking care of Sasquatch, but I don't know if it's resentment or what. Every time, right after the ringmaster announces Sasquatch, he leaves. He usually stays around for all the other acts, but it's like he doesn't want to watch Sasquatch.
Mouse is going to go. Have you ever seen them in the same place at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
It's been a couple weeks. I don't know what Sasquatch must have done to the ringmaster. We're gonna flip back over to Begonia and Andie real quick. So, I think we can work something out. But as far as getting access, we're gonna have to talk with the ringmaster.
The ringmaster? Where might we find him? Or her? Or they? Them?
Well, if you go to the main tent, tell him Zolran sent you. Although I don't know if he'll remember. His memory's been a little weird lately.
How do you mean?
Well, a few weeks ago, it's like he stumbled into the tent and forgot how to be a ringmaster.
What was he doing instead?
I'm sorry?
What was he doing instead? Was he drunk or?
It looked like he was drunk. He was trying to do what the ringmaster does, but it felt like it was as though it was his first day.
Interesting.
Did he remember all of his performers, like their names and what they do?
Yeah. He remembered the performers, but it was like he just didn't have that gravitas, you know? Like Zolran the Incredible.
Okay. So tell the ringmaster that Mr. Zolran the Incredible sent us, and that should be a-okay?
Yes. Should
All
be,
right.
if he remembers me.
I look to Begonia to see what else she wants to do here.
And then, Mrs. Zolran, one final question for you, not to change the subject a bit, but are you perhaps able to speak with the dead?
I'm sorry?
Are you able to speak with the dead?
Oh, I don't really like to do that anymore. Gets people haunted. And then they come complaining to me, and then I have to deal with that. And I don't want to deal with that.
I'm going to try to take a few notes out of my wallet. How much would it cost?
How many notes are you taking out?
Probably 30 pounds to start. 30 monies.
He's gonna look down for a second and say, maybe a little more than that.
I put a single money on the table to try and help.
Nice try.
I take the money back.
I add another tenner. I'm not asking you to speak with anyone malicious.
Well, and he's gonna take it and slip you a card. On the card is just his phone number. And he says, give me a ring sometime, and we'll talk.
I nod and I slip that card into my wallet.
Great. So, are Begonia and Andie heading over to the Ringmaster's area now?
I think we'd wait to meet up with everybody first.
Yeah.
Great. Mouse and Louie, is there anything else you'd like to do before you leave the medium?
No, I think we've made a friend and we know where we're heading next.
I'm sorry, I was muted. I do want to ask a question.
Yeah.
So Mouse is gonna go. I want to know. I want to know if you can read our fortunes to tell us what will happen when we go to meet the Ringmaster.
Well. I think you'd better go and find out yourself.
Okay. All right.
Your friends are waiting for you.
Mouse is gonna be like, oh, okay, and like having forgotten the safe word, he's gonna be like, it's like just saying a bunch of A words, adder, apple. It's like just slowly backing out, not
And
telling
she
them we were
says,
with anyone.
don't
Or
worry.
her.
She won't come after you.
Oh, okay.
Now that we know you're cool.
Yeah, yeah. Even though that is bare minimum, that we appreciate it.
Great. So, y'all meet up and head over. And that is when, as you approach and it's like you're going through quite a few tents with trailers and carts and the like. This seems to be where their living quarters are as they move from town to town, or just even when they're sleeping in between show nights. But you arrive at the ringmaster's tent, and as you approach, you see that the flap to the tent is open. You see that there are tracks leading inside that are fairly big. And as you peek in, you see lit in candlelight. You see a tall top hat. You see a pair of stilts against the wall that have gathered dust. It looks like they haven't been used in weeks. And you see taking a short nap a very hairy gentleman wearing the clothes of a ringmaster. And that is where we're going to take our break. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back in a second with the continuation and conclusion of this carnival ride. Thank y'all for watching. Catch y'all in a little bit. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to our little spooky carnival episode of Flabbergasted. And so far, our party, of course, I mean, we've met up with Louie, this very, maybe a little commitment phobic character, but phenomenal accent. We've traveled to the carnival where the Chupacabros have issued a challenge to obtain a picture of Sasquatch, the headlining act at the carnival. Now, after thoroughly embarrassing the Chupacabros, as is the norm, our party went over to check out the fortune teller's tent, which was a little bit creepy, but also they gained a little bit of information. At which point, they maybe have decided, instead of taking a picture, a sketch, free advertisement for the carnival, and also to sabotage the Chupacabros. Now, as they headed over to the ringmaster's tent, they stumbled in and saw a very hairy gentleman wearing the ringmaster's clothes. And that is where we pick it up. What do y'all want to do?
Should we go in?
Wait, so we can see the sleepy person, right? The sleeping
Yes.
person
Yes.
who is hairy like a Sasquatch.
Yes. And I'd say Andie specifically, with Andie's expertise, would know. It seems like he's done quite a bit to try to hide it. He's shaved a bit. And it looks like he has on, like, there are various things that he's put on to hide any little bits that are, like, maybe just a little too rough that he can't hide. But looks like a Sasquatch.
I'm going to grab just whoever is in arm's reach of me, just grab them by the collars and pull them back.
Great. I'd say all of them are. If you want to group huddle, grab.
Just they're all in arm's reach, but I've only got two hands.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So just grab and.
Great. In this case, I'd say it's probably Mouse and Andie, because I do want to give Louie something. We talked about this during the break. Louie gets the first lucky coin of this session, which, of course, when necessary, you can flip a coin, call it. If you get it right, then that'll be an additional success onto whatever challenge you're facing.
Nice.
So,
Nice. Thank you.
Mouse, what were you saying?
I was gonna say I want to draw a picture of the Sasquatch that we see, but I would like to draw the Sasquatch without the clothes, like just not like without clothes, but just like I don't want to give away what we have seen about who this probably is in my drawing.
You want to paint him like one of my French girls?
Yes. Give him a little sailor hat. Make it like.
Great.
Draw a little dog of corn in the corner.
Great. So I picture as Mouse is taking out his like sketching tools. That's when Begonia pulls both Mouse and Andie back, and Louie feels a little bit more lucky. So
Yes.
What are
Now,
y'all?
I feel like Louie has no qualms about stepping into people's places without necessarily any formal invitation.
Mhm.
So he's kind of left by himself, like one step inside the tent, and he just kind of looks around, and he's starting to kind of get an idea of what, like, this might be the Sasquatch, but why is he wearing the clothes? And so he'll just be like, hello?
just frantically whispering, Louie, get back here!
It's I got this. It's okay.
No,
It's okay.
do not.
Mr. Ringleader. Hello. Are
You
you
hear
sleeping?
snoring, like, and then
So-
suddenly he springs forward and he grabs you by the collar, and he says, "What are you doing here?"
Mr. Ringleader. Hello. Nice to meet you. I am Louie.
What have you
these are-
seen?
I have seen many things throughout my many travels. What would you like to know?
Right now.
Right now, a very angry gentleman, not very happy with me. I also do get this kind of reaction fairly often.
And it's like, as he's looking at you, he suddenly, it's like, blinks away the grogginess, and he notices that you're not alone. Mouse, Begonia, Andie are standing behind you, and then he lets go of your collar and he says, My apologies. I'll do anything."
I
So we
suppose
have no
it is
intention
good. Buy me a drink
of
first,
exposing
maybe.
your identity.
Really?
Allow us to introduce ourselves. My name is Begonia Smythe. We are with the October Society. We were sent over here by your fortune teller.
Oh.
Mr. The Incredible Zoran.
Yes. We'd wanted to speak with you about your Sasquatch. Strictly your Sasquatch. Not anything else.
Yes.
Not anything else related to the Sasquatch. Including whatever we may have seen upon entrance to your room. We assure you.
Well, please, come in.
Well, I mean, if you would like to talk about anything with me afterwards, of course, I'm more than happy to stick around.
Ross
Well.
is like hacking out all his sketching tools.
Is everyone entering the tent?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. In that case, this gentleman is going to zip back up the entrance, and he's going to have a seat. And even while sitting, he strikes quite the imposing figure. When he was standing, he was maybe a good 7'8", 7'9". His muscles are enormous. Even beneath the hair, you can see just rippling. But he takes a seat and he says, "So, well, what do you want to know about me?"
You
I
aren't
take it
the.
that the Sasquatch attraction that your carnival boasts of, as well as yourself, the ringleader of the carnival, the ringmaster, are one and the same.
Yes.
Are you new to this job? How long have you been here?
I've been working for the carnival for years.
And is the and I gesture to just his whole body. Is that new?
No. I've been a Sasquatch as long as I've known.
If I may, maybe I think my friend Begonia, you might have the right idea, but excuse me, Mr. Sasquatch. You are you the ringleader, or is the ringleader somewhere else?
I am now. I wasn't
Where?
always the ringleader.
who the person who was the ringleader before you, where is he?
Well, it started a few weeks ago. It seemed like he'd lost passion for the job. He told me that when he started, it was because his predecessor, well, his predecessor got into an accident, and he didn't want all of us to be out of work. This is one of the few jobs that I can have without being immediately ostracized, potentially taken by the government or who else. And so he took the helm, and he's been an amazing ringleader, but with his old age, he just couldn't hold on anymore. He couldn't do it anymore, and I saw this, so I offered to take over for him so that he could pursue his true passions and enjoy life again.
You're a kind man.
Mouse is
Yourself in
wiping.
such danger.
Mouse
It
is
is-
like wiping tears. He's like, such passion.
His passions don't include miming, do they?
Yes, how did you know?
Lucky guess.
Lucky coin.
Do I get a lucky coin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Dang, that was good.
Nice.
Now, before we continue, what is your name?
My name
Your
is
name's
Gar.
Gar.
Yes.
Now, I have a couple of questions about your function as the ringleader, the ringmaster of this carnival. Now, you are a Sasquatch all of the time, or is there a transformational process?
Well, typically, and he gestures towards the equipment, and he says, typically as the ringmaster, I have quite a lot of gear to put on. And he starts putting it on. A top hat, quite the bushy beard, but in contrast to his brown fur hair, body hair, it's a black and gray color. And he goes to grab everything except the stilts. He puts on like these very long, they're almost like in shape like bell bottoms, but of course in function they were used to kind of conceal the fact that the old ringleader would wear stilts so that he could communicate with everyone. But he says, well, I would put all these on, and with enough light shaving, then I could pass myself off as the ringleader without anyone getting suspicious.
I want to lean over to Louie and like whisper, like, is this the same like hat from before? Could there be a triple identity switch, or am I getting too excited?
Louis like,
So,
no, I think your journalist brain is getting away with you. Surely not. And I look back and forth, and I look at the hat, and I look at the Sasquatch, and I look at Andie, and I'm like, oh, so many possibilities.
Are you referring to the clown you encountered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy is a good 2.5 feet taller than that clown.
Okay, so he couldn't have passed himself for shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Not easily enough.
Right. And like you can
Cross
see
one of my conspiracy theories off of my list. Just everyone is the Sasquatch. Not a Sasquatch, the Sasquatch.
Mr. Gar,
Yes.
we have been challenged by a hesitate to call them rivals, because frankly they cannot hold a candle to us, but another similar group of occult enthusiasts
Oh,
to photograph you.
so they...
Now, we have no intention of revealing your identity as the ringleader.
Thank you.
I believe that we can all agree upon that, yes? I'm looking around to everyone.
Yes, of course, of course.
I will not share your secret with the paper.
A fellow artist.
Andie specifically has been asked to report on the Sasquatch attraction for her newspaper. However, you should know that those who've challenged us to procure a photograph of you. Mouse, you have a drawing of them?
Yes.
So you can see what they look like. I don't know that they would treat this matter with the same discretion.
I see. Well, in that case... And then suddenly all of you hear these loud bells ringing from outside, and Gar immediately stands up and says, "Oh, sorry, I'm sorry, but the show.
Of
So
course.
we'll talk later. Thank you so much for keeping my secret safe." And he starts running past you in his ringmaster attire. So,
Oh, can I? This is just kind of a little not related, but kind of it to last session when we went to the big Sasquatch place and there was that Sasquatch like smell cologne sort of thing.
mhm.
Just wondering, does he smell like that? Or will Mouse find out that he has been lied to?
Oh, great. Well, when you catch a whiff of him, he smells like the morning dew next to a babbling brook. You catch a whiff and it just smells like nature and freshness. And it seems like maybe Mouse has been lied to.
Mouse is kind of heartbroken to find out that his flaw has been exploited again.
So, with the ringmaster slash Sasquatch running over to the main tent, what are y'all gonna do?
Bring Masquatch.
I think we need to keep an eye out on the chupacabras if we're going to protect the Sasquatch slash ringleader. I think we need to create a diversion, maybe.
Wait a minute. Okay. Going off of that, create a diversion. Tell me if I can't do this, but I kind of assume that there will be a lot of clippings and stuff from the Sasquatch. What I'm getting at is, can one of us dress as the Sasquatch? Can I use my
Yes,
passionate display design?
you read
Designing
my
skill.
mind.
Yep. To dress as a Sasquatch.
I feel like that might be Louie because he's probably the tallest. Plus
Are
stilts.
you? Whoever.
Yeah,
How
whoever.
tall is Louie?
Let's call it tall enough.
So, you gonna put the stilts on, Louie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh god.
I think between Louie and Mouse together we can put together a convincing Sasquatch.
Yes. So in a moment of incredible inspiration, Mouse is going to use his passionate display ability. If I can use it, I'm gonna read it. It reads as pick an artistic skill that you are very proficient in. You give a passionate display every time you perform. All eyes are on you.
Ooh, great. So, in this case, Mouse, getting the little clippings, the little bits that he's shaved off, and also like you do see several sets of this garb because of course he wouldn't just have the one because he's at a carnival. You could easily get it snagged on something, then be ruined. So you're able to get those clothes, and just with very careful placement, you transform Louie from this commitment phobe, smooth talker into, I mean, what looks like Gar's brother, if not Gar himself.
Yes.
But still smooth talking and still committed.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Great. So, I'll say this. Whilst that is going on, what are Begonia and Andie doing? Because this, I mean, the process of doing that will take some time.
I kind of think we should go kind of follow Gar to like try and make sure he's not being followed by the Chupacabros.
Agreed.
Okay.
So I'm assuming we've talked about what they're doing as well,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, I'd say like you guys hatched the plan and it was like break, and then all of you split off. Yeah, Begonia and Andie, you tail Gar, and it's a little difficult because Gar is, I mean, he's quite massive. And when he starts running, them long legs get him places really fast. Now, en route, you do see a clown. In fact, two clowns who you recognize from the brochure, since Andie was particularly interested, as being Abby and Lou. Abby is a female clown, quite tall, with a brown trench coat and a black tie. It's like her eyes are at the center of black diamonds. As far as the makeup is concerned, there's blue under her left eye, red under her right eye, a large red clown nose, long brown clown shoes. And then Lou has an explorer's hat on, a bit shorter, a little portlier, wearing a khaki explorer shirt and khaki shorts. For his eye makeup, they're black stars with his eyes at the center. And there's red under his left eye and blue under his right eye. Red clown nose, long white socks that go up to his knees, and long black clown shoes. And when they see the two of you running towards them, one of them immediately says, "Stop!"
Are you getting Chupacabro vibes?
Begonia stops.
Andie has also stopped.
And the other one will say, "What is your business following the ringmaster?"
We want to go see the show.
Really?
Yeah, we're
The
following him to
customers.
get to the show.
Well, you'll have to go to the front then.
I hold out my press badge that I'm assuming I have and say, "We have backstage access. Come on,
And-
Begonia." And I grab her and start to walk away.
Well, Abby is gonna stop you with a large, a comically large fly swatter, and say, "Wait a second, you're that journalist, aren't you?"
Yes, I'm the wonderful journalist that everybody here seems to love. So, and I try to go around her.
And she's gonna
We've
step
spoken
in.
with the ringmaster, and we've spoken with Zoltar.
Zolron.
Zolron. We have no ill intentions towards your livelihood. You can ask either of them.
I'm gonna need you to roll a persuasion for me.
What do you... Yeah, bravado and persuasion. Okay.
Yes.
All right, I got one success.
Great.
How many do you want from me?
Great. Well, in this case,
Okay.
the Abbey is going to lower the fly swatter, but say, okay, but I think you're gonna have to go through the front.
That's fine. We'll do that.
Thank you.
I think we start to walk away, and Andie starts to wander towards the back entrance again.
Begonia's just going to just reach an arm out, like grab her. No.
Oh, it's this way.
Andie, we'll be fine going in front.
When Begonia stops Andie, like Begonia would have seen this already, but Andie, like as you turn to look, you see that Lou has taken out a comically large fire extinguisher and was ready to fire.
Whoa. Okay.
I'm going to whisper to Andie. Once we're in the tent, then we can move around.
I'm sorry, sir. I genuinely thought this was the way to go, but I guess not. So we're just gonna go to the front now, which is this way. Okay, bye.
Okay. All right. I'd say by this point, after having dealt with Abby and Lou, Mouse and Louie, you finished putting on this garb. Where are y'all going?
All right. Because I'm a sucker for thank-yous, I've got another one. It's called Wanderer. You find that the best thing to do when you are at a loss is to let yourself wander. You follow your artistic soul, and somehow you end up at the exact place you need to be in. The director will lead you to a new location.
Great.
So I think, like, inside the tent, Louis is just there, and like the first being applied and everything, and he's just like, okay, yes. My name is Gar. My name is Gar. Yes. I think I am getting the hang of this. It's not so hard to be a Sasquatch. My name is okay. And
Excellent.
I just kind of poke my head out, and I'm just like, yes, I feel
Great.
it. I am a Sasquatch, and I start walking.
As you
Where
start
do you take
walking,
me?
is Mouse following?
Yeah, Mouse is definitely gonna follow. He's like,
Great.
That'll be my greatest work to date. He's like,
Excellent.
of taking that.
So, as Begonia and Andie are running to the front of the tent to enter for the show, Mouse and Louie as Sasquatch, you immediately see a gentleman, bald, wearing a leotard. He has very bushy chest hair and very massive muscles, not bodybuilder muscles, strongman muscles. And he says, "Aren't you supposed to be in tent?"
Mouse would be like, I'm sorry. I just had to talk to him. You know, he's just so amazing. But you can go now. I'm gonna go. And Mouse is going to walk off, trying to cover for you.
Where is Mouse gonna walk off to?
So if he's being okay, so if Louie's being told that needs to be somewhere, I feel like Mouse is gonna try to stay nearby, but not in a way that's like super obvious.
Okay. Great. Well, in that case, this man is going to say, God, is this your friend?
Yes. Yes, they are my friend, yes.
Then please go with him.
I look for I have been looking for have you seen two men? I am Gar. And with
Have you been drinking, Gar?
Shh, don't tell. With the nœud papillon bow ties.
I haven't, but I'll keep a lookout.
Yes, they are after me. They are not good. If you see them,
We'll do.
pass the word around. I am Gar.
Yes. So, he is going to lead Louie and Mouse through the back of the tent into what looks like a staging area where you see a number of people who are limbering up. They seem to be the trapeze artists, and they're getting ready for the act right before Sasquatch comes out. Now at this point, the four of them look over to you, and the strong man will whisper to each of them, and you can overhear about 2 people, bow ties. But then the strong man will leave, and then the 4 kind of look to you, Louie, and say, you're back here early.
Yes.
So wait, so is Mouse still around?
Yes.
Okay.
Mouse, you are with Louie.
So, hold on. Something. Oh, okay. So, can I kind of do a kindred? I want to use my kindred spirit skill, but I want to use it in a way where I'm like, well, of course he's back early. He had to show you his new look. Don't you notice a change? And kind of trying to like show off the work that he's done and distract them from
Great.
Yes. God, very pretty now.
And one of them says, wow, you've done really great work.
Thank you.
Do you think you could take a look at our outfits sometime?
Oh, of course. But I need you to look at their outfits. Like, I don't think I can improve true perfection. Trying to flash them.
Great.
Let us go.
So at this point, I'll tell you that there are four trapeze artists. There are 2 men and 2 women, and they both seem to be like in their pairs, helping each other limber up here. Now we're gonna switch over to Begonia and Andie. As the 2 of you get to the front of the tent, you notice that there's someone who is eagerly welcoming people in. At this point, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? I know you guys want to like keep a lookout, but is there like a particular vantage point you're looking for?
If there's any way for us to get like kind of lost in the crowd so we can just wander like as close to like backstage as we can get? Like so we can see backstage and on stage?
You can try. Absolutely. Is Begonia following suit?
Begonia's going to stop at the person welcoming everyone in, and just excuse me just a moment. You
Yes.
wouldn't have happened to see two men in bow ties come this way, have you?
Yes, I did. They were, rather boisterous, but yeah, they're in there.
Yeah, thank you. Did you happen to see which way they went? We're here together, and I just wanted to. I'm trying to find them.
Oh, well, when they were going in, I overheard them saying that they wanted to get the best angle possible.
I see. And where would that be?
If they can get there, front and center, but usually the kids are there, so, and no one's gonna be shoving the kids out of the way.
Of course. Thank you very much. I will try to go. We're going to go find them now. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Wait, am I with you or have I wandered off?
I'd say you would have overheard that. Like,
Okay.
Andie is getting ready, but then like turning back just to make sure both of you are on the same page.
Okay. Should I go try and throw a child from front and center?
No.
Okay, so I'll do my plan and try to get like between front and backstage.
And I'll try to find the chupacabras.
Great. Okay. So, when Andie tries to maneuver through the crowds to get to that point, is there any specific sort of tactic you're trying to use? Like, are you trying to say, oh, please, I have friends over there? Or is it a matter of like, trying to push your way past?
My first thought was to kind of like dodge and weave through people as unseen as I can be. And if I get caught, I have a couple scene cues I could probably
This feels like a little bravado for me.
Oh no. Last time I rolled for bravado, I got stuck in a man's pants.
No context.
Okay, I have one success.
Great. So, like, you're able to make your way almost there, but then there's one person who's like, hey, what's the big idea?
I'm going to use a scene cue, but I'm not sure which one because there's a few I could use. I think I'll go wax poetic. Every time you speak, you tend to be overly verbose and dramatic. Depending on with whom you're speaking, they can either be very charmed or completely drained by the end.
Nice.
So I think I'm going to like look at this person and say, what, I can't shove my way through the crowd? Do I look weak to you? What do you think? Like, I'm just trying to go see my friends in this show and you're in my way and I'm trying to drain him. I don't want him to like me. So
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So it's like, as you go on and on and on, you can kind of see like a look of confusion, and it's like he wants to interrupt at any point. He's waiting for you to pause, but you don't. And so it's like he keeps having those what? And it's like you can kind of see like the fight, like the tension lowering from his shoulders, and his face is switching over from adversarial into like a little annoyed and a little bored, and then he's like, just fine, just go.
Oh my
And
goodness, thank you.
and you're able to make your way into your position between front and back stage, where I'd say at that point you overhear Mouse getting some potential commissions from the people in the back.
Can I try to wave at them and give a thumbs up?
Yeah, I'd say at the very least Louie would see this, while Mouse is kind of being swarmed by the trapeze artists. Now, Begonia, you're looking for the chupacabras. I'd say, like, as you're heading back towards the center, you immediately see. I mean, you can hear grumbling. People are like, how dare they? What? That's not their spot. And you immediately see the two chupacabras sitting front and center in front of the stage.
Should have thrown the kid.
With a few kids that are giving them quite a bit of space. But they are seated there, and you can see one of them has, like, it seems like this bundle beneath a black blanket that they're holding.
Hello, piss boys.
So, I'll say this. As you say that, the kids next to them are like, What? What's going on? When they hear the word piss. Now, one of the chupacabras, the one, Steve Boosh, who is not holding the bundle, he turns and says, "So, looks like we're about to win."
Are you now?
Yeah. We have the best spot.
You do, yes. I see that you've, sat in front of children.
Yeah. And it's like when he says yeah, he kind of sneers at the kids around them.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna look at my scene cues just a sec.
While you're doing that, should I take a picture of Louie? Like from this point? Just in case. And then if I have to give it to the paper, I can be like, Sasquatch gets ready for his big show. So that way we have a picture of a Sasquatch without it being the ringmaster.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. There is potentially a problem in that, and you would recognize this immediately, Andie. Backstage is a little darker so that it's not very apparent, so you might have to do a little flash bulb.
Maybe I could wait until the show starts, because I'm imagining there will be like 1920s lights going around.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I guess I can't ask any of you if it's a good idea, so I'm just gonna do it.
All right, Andie gets camera ready.
As subtly as I can.
Oh, okay. Begonia, your scene cue.
So I'm going to, first of all, just very calmly say to the brothers Boosh, you're going to get up and you're going to allow these children to sit where they're supposed to. And I'm going to use my scene cue, headstrong. Everyone knows to steer clear of you when an argument is breaking out. You can win any argument and come out on top. If you believe strongly in something, no one can make you change your mind.
Great. So, at this point, you see Steve, and he's starting to shake a little bit. And then the kids are like, yeah, get out of here. And then another kid is like, yeah, get him, lady. And then like the adults around are like, yeah, she's doing the right thing. We should have done that. And then like there's enough of a hubbub that at this point, like Steve looks over to Billy And he just kind of shakes his shoulder. He's like, "No, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. It's not worth it. Look at all these people." And then at this point, you can also notice that Begonia, as you look behind in the corner, coming out from backstage, is a tall, bald, mustachioed, leotarded clad, burly man who is stepping out. And it's like, as your sightline sees him, they also turn and see him. And then they immediately run past you towards the back.
Stop them!
Who are you telling?
Just anybody who's around. Just stop those guys.
Are they
Right.
gonna pass me?
No, you are a
Okay.
little bit farther up to have the angle to see backstage, whereas the
Okay.
strong man has
Are
already...
they going past the strong man?
No, the strong man is coming from backstage, whereas they are going back towards the entrance to the tent.
Oh, they're going back. Okay, I thought they were going backstage. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. So, I'll put a pause on this as we go back to Mouse and Louie.
Oh, jeez.
So, Mouse, you've got some potential commissions. Louie, what do you want to do, Louie? I'll go to you first, since Mouse is a little preoccupied.
Is there a way that while we were backstage, I could have gotten the attention of the ringleader?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know that we're doing this right now.
Right. I'd say he's in like one of those little smaller staging areas where there's like several layers of curtains where you can keep an eye on the front and also look backstage, look at the audience and whatnot without it being very obvious unless you're at the perfect angle. And he would be at the angle where maybe someone at the very far right would be able to see them, which in this case would be Andie. And I'd say like maybe just tracking the sight lines, Louie, you'd be able to see, okay, that's where he's currently standing, ready to step in to announce for the next act.
Which is me.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'll try to be really loud and like do a really loud laugh. I'll be like, oh, I am Gar. To try to kind of hopefully get him to hear me.
And it's like he looks back and then he does a double take and he says, or he points.
And I give him a wink.
And then he comes over and says, "What are you doing?"
We are I am Gar, protecting the Sasquatch.
I don't understand. And at this point, Mouse, I mean, you are talking with the trapeze artist. You are holding their attention, but I mean, you might need to do something. Otherwise, one of them is going to see that there are two Gars here.
Okay. It's okay. I have a thing I can do. Let me read. Okay. Okay. So they're all around me, right? So I'm gonna use another scene cue. So I'm gonna use Muse. There's an alluring quality about you that draws people in and keeps them entranced. If you play into this, you can charm just about anyone who shows an interest. Be warned, they're likely to become hopelessly enamored with you. And so I'm going to, so the one who first asked me, I'm going to look and be like, listen, you can't, what is the word? I'm going to say, while you can't improve perfection, you can choose something even better. And I'm just going to pull out my sketchbook. I'm like, you can choose godliness. And just start like sketching, making outfits for like all of the trapeze artists.
Fantastic. So that's an outstanding cover. Now, while that's going on, Louie, Gar says, What is your plan here?
Well, if you go out there, and then I come out, then no one will suspect that you are who you really are, and we are able to keep you safe. And I have friends, and I kind of look over into the crowd and see Andie, and I'm like, there are friends in the crowd, and they are taking care of the
Thank you.
bad.
Well then, I suppose we'll see how good you are on those stilts, huh? And
Yes, we will see. I am Gar.
and Gar is going to give you a quick hug and then step out to announce the Sasquatch. Now, at this point, everyone in position, mouse. At some point, someone shakes one of the trapeze artists from their trance on you, and they will go out to. Essentially, it's almost as though they do just a quick acrobatic routine to present as, of course, our ringmaster Gar will step out and begin the spiel of ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, we are now here to present to you the ultimate marvel of the world, the one who everyone said does not exist. The one, the only, Sasquatch!
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I come out and I put my arms in the air and I roar, and I kind of rush towards the kids, and I do a smaller roar at them to kind of spook them, but not too much. And just to like seal the deal, I'm going to use a scene cue called Life of the Party.
Perfect. Because I will say, if you didn't, I was gonna have to have you make a little creativity roll.
No one parties like a bohemian. Your events have the best music, dancing, costume, and decor. I mean, this is all already here for me. You can turn any boring, lifeless affair into a wild and uproarious party. So I full on just take center stage, do a bit of scary routine, do like little cartwheely thingies, and well, cartwheelies, I don't know, that might be difficult in stilts. But yes, and I'm like, I am Gar.
Great.
Children.
So while that's going on, I'm going to flip through everyone else, see what you're doing as Louie comes out and is just rocking the party. I'll start with Andie, then go to Begonia, then finally Mouse. So, as Louie steps out and does the most convincing Sasquatch performance you've ever seen, to the point where the terror that Louie might have felt when he had the 7'8" Gar towering over him, it's like that same sort of level of emotion. It's just rippling through the crowd. Andie, what are you doing?
If the lights are flashing, I might try to take a photo, but also I'm a mouse. Did you make sketches of Louie's costume?
Can I say that I did that? Because I did have to design it and put it together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So we have a sketch in case everything goes wrong. Should I guess I'm gonna try and take a picture.
Great. Great.
Might be a
Without
blurry
flash?
one, but that fits perfect with Sasquatch photos.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. So, Andie, going to take a picture. Begonia, what are you doing?
Begonia, after getting the kids settled in to just like, making sure all of the kids can see everybody, getting the smaller ones at the front is backed up a little bit and is really just enjoying herself.
Great.
Just like, this is great. I'm having a great time. Things are awesome.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And now, Mouse. Mouse, what are you doing?
I think. So are the performers still around me, or are they out like doing stuff?
Oh, they're out. Like they did like a little acrobatic routine as sort of like setting the scene for Sasquatch to come out.
Okay, I think that Mouse is just sitting back and just like marveling at his work, and it's just like so proud of this new member they have on the team, and Mouse is just like, this is good. This is good.
Fantastic. So, if that's what you're doing, Mouse, you do see, of course, Andie getting ready to take a picture without the flash bulb. You see Begonia, who's tending to the children at the front, settling them, like making them comfortable after them having had to deal with the chaos of the chupacabras. But you also see a flash go off from the back of the tent near the entrance. And it is at that point, of course, Louie, where you're going around, you're doing your flips, and I'd say, like, being the party animal you are, you're feeding off the energy of the crowd. Everyone's going crazy. And so you're able to land that flip on those stilts. And as you're doing so, you do see just a flash from near the entrance. But you also, from where you are, I mean, you and Mouse would be the ones looking out towards that area, towards that direction. And then that's when you see the chupacabras, one of them holding a camera beneath this blanket, and then you see both of them being lifted up by the strong gentleman with the bald head, the mustache, and the leotard. And then you see one of them with one arm thrown out, the other one about to be thrown out, and then the camera being wrested from his hands, smashed onto the ground before he too is thrown out of the tent. And now, at this point, Begonia, you hear a voice just a little bit behind you. And this voice says, "Is that Louie?" And here, in the chaos, it's kind of hard to tell who's saying it, nor would you necessarily recognize who it is. But Louie, you see Jacques in the crowd. And he has a, dare I say, flabbergasted expression on his face. But at this point, you were able to successfully cover for our good friend Gar, the Sasquatch. You were able to, get in good with the carnival. Make sure that the chupacabras would not be able to expose Sasquatch here. And, at this point, we have about 5 minutes left. I want y'all to think about it. Like, we fade away from this scene, and I want you to think about what might happen in the aftermath after completing this task. Maybe you go back to doing what you're doing. Maybe you have some other jobs that you want to do. But I'm going to go in the order of Mouse, Begonia, Louie, and Andie. but this will be how we wrap it up. You have creative freedom here. If you wanted to include another character here, then feel free. But to wrap things up with a neat little bow, let's start with Mouse. Mouse.
Okay. I like to think that Mouse, after seeing someone make the chupacabras pay and be embarrassed, is super impressed, and so just goes over and is like, come talk to me sometime, and just, but instead of like giving like a phone number or anything like that, he just sketches out the studio that he runs. And so whether that happens or not, I think that Mouse would go back to the studio / bakery that he has ready for his sister, and just continue to thrive as an artist and to take care of his family and give them a way to start to relax, let go of the farm so he can provide for them like they did for him.
Wonderful, wonderful. Begonia?
So just in the immediate aftermath of the show, Begonia would probably take Andie to, excuse me, would probably take Andie to ask the ringmaster if we could, outside of his ringmaster uniform, just take a picture, nice lighting and everything, to show that, yeah, we did get a better picture than the chupacabras, and she has something to bring to Mr. Glenlivet. And then really just go back home to enjoy her life. Reach out to the medium to try and get some answers about a couple of things, and start learning how to really run a business.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, Louie?
I think Louie is... Give me... Sorry. I think Louie is going to, once he gets unfurred, is going to catch up with Jacques and really go up to him and just be very apologetic and say, from now on, I want to focus. I want to focus on you more. I may have many lovers, but you have a very special place in my heart. And I direct him to the backstage, and by now I've made friends with a few people, and I take him to see like the fortune tellers, and I take him and I really spoil him. I really take the time to win him a little plush toy and buy him one of those chili dogs, and just do all of the things. And really, I don't know that he fully dedicates himself to Jacques from now on, but at least for this point in time, he focuses himself for once in his life on one person at a time.
Whoa, awesome, awesome. Now, finally, Andie.
After I've taken the picture with Begonia and Gar, I'm going to try and find that last clown, Tatiana, just so I can check it off the list. And then I'm going to run back to the main tent and go through the back entrance just because I want to. And then in the following days, I think I'm going to start trying to come up with a new cryptid, not specifically to make myself famous, though that would be a nice bonus, but to like draw attention away from Sasquatches and other cryptids that might actually be real. Her latest thing is a birdle, which is either a turtle with wings or a bird with a turtle shell. She hasn't decided yet, but yeah, that's her next big scoop, she thinks.
Awesome. Awesome. Fantastic. I love it. I love it, y'all. And y'all have been wonderful to play with. At this point, we're wrapping up, so I just want to give all of y'all a chance to, again, say who you are, who you are playing, where people might find you, if they want to follow your work, and well, it'll be our sign off for this group, for the October Society. So, well, Jupy, you want to take it away?
Yeah, so I'm Jupy. I played Mouse, the eccentric artist and designer. And you can find me at bluebookarcade.ish.io. I make all kinds of fan games. Coming out with an original game really soon. They're all RPGs, so hopefully you can find something you like.
Fantastic. Rachel?
I'm Rachel. I've played Begonia Smythe. You may have seen my roommate's cat Plumbus guest starring a little bit. You sure can try to find me. Good luck.
Excellent. Excellent. Liam?
Hey all, I'm Leam, and I play Louie. And you can find me, or rather you will be able to find me in the near future just by Googling a geek of one's own. All one word. And I've made many social things, so hopefully you can see some more of me there soon. Thanks, Matt.
Outstanding. And finally, Adah.
I've been Adah Kinsler. I played Andie Cartwright. I don't really use my social media, but if you search Adah, I'll probably come up. There aren't that many people with the name spelled that way. Watch The Owl House on Disney Plus. Yeah, it's been really fun. See you all for the Christmas special.
Absolutely. And I've been Matt. You can find me on this channel, Improv at D&D. You can find me on Twitch sometimes with Level 1 Geek, the Let Us In, where you get your podcasts. But overall, I just want to, first off, thank my wonderful cast here for being just a delight to play with. Y'all are incredible, and I look forward to being able to play with y'all again sometime. And I want to thank everyone who tuned in. Y'all are wonderful. Thank you so much for your support. And most of all, I want to thank Fleur and Chelsea of Wanderer's Tome for creating such a magnificent game. I believe the Kickstarter just finished, and oh my gosh, the support has been incredible. And I believe if you're late to the party, they'll be distributed soon by Gigamech Games. So keep an eye out on that. I've included the links to the Kickstarter page, to their website. You can get involved in the Discord. The community is wonderful there. But really, truly, thank you for tuning in. And I mean, at this point, thank y'all for playing, and we'll catch y'all next time. Bye!